I hope everything's cool with all of you people. I hope you can hear me. And let's do the normal sound check. Calling me, calling Ginger, calling you. Do you hear me? I'll look at your messages. Hang on a minute. Hi. How about... Thanks, Kenny. Can you hear me? Hi, Julie. Hi, Stefan, Garnet, Furby, Donald, Kenny. Super. Hi, Becky. Thank you all for coming. I hope I haven't missed anyone. I don't think so. Denise. That's true. So, can you hear me? You can see me and you can hear me. Great. Coming clear from Michigan. Good. Good. Well, I have a show tonight. Been pondering what would be an interesting topic for this day and age. And you know, I'm always talking about the different levels of who we are. And we have our physical level and our emotional level and our mental level, and we have the soul and then the higher spiritual aspects. And from what I've experienced, creativity comes with the contact to those higher levels. And we've talked about the different tones of color, tones of feeling, of thinking that will link you, including the balance of the masculine principle with the feminine principle and your soul. Tonight I want to talk about awakening, and I want to share with you a sculpture that's very dear to me called Awakening. And in sharing that sculpture, I want to show you some of the creative process and talk to you about my own inner process of manifesting this sculpture. I want to look at your messages first. Yeah, I know that one, Garnet. So, everyone can hear me. That's terrific. So what I'm going to do is go on to the slideshow that I created of awakening. Here it comes. This is the beginning of her. I created the body in styrofoam first, and then as you can see, the wings are being attached with a that's her completed. So there are some other, we'll get back to the first stages of her. This is her on exhibit in Arundel Castle grounds. This is at a party that I had, inviting people to my home. Winter, she was shivering. And that's her appearance with me at a joint exhibition with Yanis Antoniadis in East Grinstead. And this is one of my favorite mock-ups, Adobe Photoshop. Here we are back in the studio, and you can see it's like a very fine mesh with wires that supported the outside. And after doing that, I then cover with plaster, and then she goes off to be molded. And if you can see close up there, it was my favorite glazing of blues and pinks and whites. This will keep going around. Garnet, I use car filler as well in a lot of repairs and difficult areas, and it also dries really quick, and you can sand it, and I use a Dremel to get into the little areas and create certain textures. Yeah, chicken wire. I know, Verpy. Now the thing is about each piece of artwork, Denise, I know, I never know what's going to be made initially, and I've been trained to touch that place of, hi Yvonne, touch that place where creativity comes in from the higher source. So you never know what will be made, and you have to learn to keep going. Most of the sculptures start in clay, start with an orb, and I just keep building dots on it until it starts to make some sort of shape. But I never code it, unless, of course, I suppose if I'm commissioned for something, I'll start with the idea. I know, Richard, you're wonderful about that. I need to talk to you about something for the future. It's really good, Garnet. I've even repaired wood windowsills and stuff with it. You can repair all kinds of stuff and then paint over it and seal it and glaze it. But my inner process of awakening, it was to do with awakening more of who I was and my dedication to creating artwork that opened doorways for you by me opening a doorway to an experience, so that when you look at the artwork, I hope that you touch a place in you. It's not just my sculpture, it's to do with a doorway for us to touch each other. And yes, Garnet is an organic process for me, almost a catharsis, but the bigger intent is to create artwork that represents the physical, the emotional, the mental, the soul and the spirit before, so that you don't forget that it's in you. And that's the main process that I create from all the time. And it's she was quite something. At least with making her, the wings didn't fall off a lot of the times earlier. It's different in America, Donald. And I had an exhibition in Italy, and when I arrived and opened up the boxes with the artwork, one of them was broken, and I had to search all over, where was it, in Rome, not speaking Italian, to try to find the Bondo. I did find it. I repaired it, got it all fixed, put back, and it really touched people that I could do that without throwing a fit or be really upset or whatever. I just went and did it. So thank you, Verpy. I'm always touched by you being here, and I understand. So the thing about awakening is that this day and age that we're in, it's in a way, an age of light. As I mentioned before, since the nuclear age came in, we suddenly see that not only are we globally connected more than ever before because of the internet, but we are more aware of how life can come to an end by pushing a button. And as a result of that, it's taken us deeper into questioning, who am I? Because we're becoming more aware of being an energy of light, a being of light, and therefore we start to discover more of that inner place, which creating awakening did enhance that process for me, as does every piece of artwork that I create. And it goes right into the art of living, and who am I, and how to help. Thank you, Julie. She is so realistic looking, I forget I'm looking at a statue. Passionate awakening. So, I finished my illustrations of the storybook. Actually, it's turning into 2 storybooks about a little boy called Redcap, which I've shared with you before. And it's moved on to a second book about him moving to a new home with his new stepfather. And I didn't have time to put it up, but I can show you some of them. Hang on. I'm getting it out of the little sleeve. And we'll make sure to start from the beginning. Bear with me. Right. Yes. 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 So I'm just missing the cover. Wherever that went. There it is. Okay. So I will hold it up and I hope you guys can see it. I won't be seeing the messages for a little while. So I think you've seen this one. This is Redcap. And he's called that because he always sleeps with his red cap on. Their house, actually, he lives with his mom. His dad had passed over. And it's a bit chilly in their cottage. And so he always wears his hat. Now, every day he goes out into the woods and says hi, sings, dances with all the animals. They all love him. He's very close to nature. And one day he comes back and his mom's not very well. She's actually in bed and she's got a fever. So he realizes that he's now in charge and he's got to take care of his mom. And he has to get in wood from the wood pile and dig up the vegetables and create soup and different dinners for her. But she's not very well and doesn't really eat much. Then he starts to run out of wood from the wood pile and has to go out into the wood and gather branches that he can carry and keep the fire going, because he knew that the house had to be kept warm. But there came a day that he was running out of finding wood and things. Denise, Redcap is a being from folklore in the Scottish borders. How interesting. Yes, I was commissioned to do the illustrations. So back to the story. One day he's in the barn and he's not a happy fellow. He's just crying. And a robin appears and says, "What's the matter, Redcap? Why are you crying? You're usually always laughing and dancing." And so he tells the sad story about his mom being ill and that he can't find any more twigs because they're all high up. So Robbie Robin says, "That's okay, I'll get all of my friends and we'll bring you twigs." And so they do. But again, time went by and he ran out of twigs and the fire was going down. So he went deeper into the woods and was just in a panic because, again, he couldn't reach the larger branches. And a squirrel came along and asked him, "What's the matter, Redcap? Why are you crying?" And he then told the squirrel his story of sadness. And the little squirrel said, "Well, I and many other creatures have decided to stay awake during winter, so we're going to help you." And off he went to bring in more twigs, branches for Redcap to take home. Well, that didn't last very long either. He said, "Oh, my goodness, I have to go further and further into the woods and see if I can find logs that will burn longer," which he starts to do. Goes deeper, and it's autumn by then, and he finds a stack of logs that the loggers must have left. But the thing is, he couldn't really pick them up, and if he could pick up one, it wasn't enough to last, nor could he really get home with it. But Softy, the dog, appeared and asked him this story. Why is Redcap having such a problem? And he said, "Don't worry, I will get my master and Mr. Bobbins and get him to come." Who did come, because he was a very kind man, and he picked up a load of logs and went off to to Redcap's home. When they got there, Mr. Bobbins was really saddened because of the state of Redcap's mom. She wasn't very well, but he was so kind that every day he would bring food and he would bring logs, and most of all he brought a doctor. And after a while, Redcap's mom got better, which meant she was up and about, and he could hug her and have a wonderful time and give her lots of love, because he was just so relieved that she was happy and well. So, of course, by then, Mr. Bobbins was in love with Redcap's mom and said, why don't you come, both of you, to live in our house, and all the animals could come there and you would have a new home. Which she said, yes, of course, I'd be happy to. And as a result, guess what happened? Ta-da! They got married, and Redcap and Mr. Softy were very, very happy and were very good friends. Now the thing is, there's a continuation of the story. Are you guys okay with me telling you it? Because it's about, this is the cover for the next story, because Redcap winds up having a new friend. So, the house that Mr. Bobbins owned and they moved to were deep in a woodland called Wildwood. And in Wildwood there was a beautiful lake, and there was an island where a Mother Goose lived with her gooselings. But when he first came, they were all eggs. But he and Softy went and played in the lake on the edge, and he often thought, goodness, I would love to go to that island. It's full of flowers but Mom told me I mustn't go until Mr. Bobbins taught me how to swim. So he was just playing on the edge of the water, and he was just going out a little bit more and more into the water to catch his boat that he had made, and discovered that the water wasn't too deep. And so he kept walking closer and closer to the island. And the water was only came up to his waist. And he was so excited. Really amazing, Garnet. So there you are. He discovered that there was one egg that Mother Goose had sat on and kept warm. And he wasn't sure whether that in fact was the egg from Mother Goose, but he thought, I'm going to take it home because I'm sure that Mr. Bobbins knows everything. So he picked some flowers for his mom and picked up the eggs and turned around and walked back to their house. He brought the egg and was showing it to his parents. His mother wasn't too happy at first because she said you weren't supposed to go into the water. But Mom, it wasn't that deep and everything's okay. Here I am, but what kind of egg is this? Do you think that we can bring it back to life? I said, well, we're not quite sure. I'm sure it's a goose egg. So they wrapped it up and put it into the warming part of the aga that they had, and every day he would come down and have a look to see if anything was going on. And sure enough, one day he heard a cracking as he opened up the door, and out popped a little tiny goose. And his parents came down, and his mom said, my goodness, this little goose jumped out like a hot cross bun. So they began calling him Hot Bun. Anyway. And this little goose thought that Redcap was his mom, and he followed him around wherever he went. Even when he sat by the fire, he would be there cuddling with him. And as he grew up, he and Softy and the little goose would go for long walks back into Wildwood, and they were the best of the friends. And that's the end of the story. So now we're working on the placement of the all the text. Thank you. I did all the drawings, that's true, and it was quite an experience. It came with such an energy that I couldn't stop. But then I got that terrible cold or whatever it was and had to stop until this week, and I could get back to the publisher. I'm really glad you like them, Francine. And when it's ready, I'll let you all know. It's going to be quite a sweet little book. The author is a very close friend that I've known forever, who asked me to do this because she found the publisher and she needed an illustrator. So I hope that this is going to be part of my future of illustrating children's books or any books. Yes, Denise, it will be a book that's published. Hi, Sharon from New Zealand. And I will let you know. I don't know how long this process will take. But every Tuesday we talk together and we'll see. Hopefully it won't take too long. And I think it's time for us to have our weekly meditation, visualization. And I found a really nice new picture to focus on, which I think you'll like. Here I'll find it. Here she is. Thank you, guys. Here we are. So, as we usually do, we sit comfortably or lie down if you have to. And be still. Keep your eyes open for a while and tune into the peace of the image before you. The calmness of the water, the green of the leaves. Allow the green to come within and heal, soothe, relax. Be still in the silence. Breathe in the color and the stillness and hold it and release. Breathe in and hold it and release. Breathe in, hold it, and release. Now close your eyes and visualize the image within. place it within your heart center. And breathe in. Hold the green in the stillness within. And release. Breathe in. Hold it. And release. Breathe in and hold it and release. Now expand the stillness and the color of spring green throughout the inside of your body, touching every organ, every muscle, your nervous system, your brain, your eyes. And if there's any clogging there, place the green, surround it, melt it away, and on your exhalation, allow it to go out. Mother Earth is always here to work together in our healing. So breathe in, hold it, and release. Breathe in, touch the place that needs healing, and release. Once more, breathe in the color, the stillness, touch the place that needs healing, and release. From your heart center, expand to the room you're sitting in. And relax. Fill the room with the green and the stillness. It's your sanctuary, your place of strength and stillness and healing. It is you. Breathe in, hold it, and release, filling the room with spring green and stillness. Breathe in, hold it, you are one, and release. Breathe in, hold it. You are one. Release. Now expand it further outside of your home to your village, your community, your country, and spread the spring green in the stillness, creating an orb of green light and stillness. Breathe in and hold it and fill the bubble with spring green and stillness as you release. Breathe in, hold it, and release. Breathe in, hold it, and release. Pause a moment in that feeling, in the oneness with your community, with your country. Now expand it to surround the whole globe, to America, Canada, Europe, China, Ukraine, Russia, South America, Africa, Antarctica, Arctic, surrounded in a bubble of green and stillness. Touch humanity with the green and the stillness, and the animal kingdom, the plant kingdom, all of life. The air, the soil. Fill it with evergreen and spring green and blue and pink for love. Breathe in, hold it, and release. Fill the bubble with the green and stillness. And call upon all the angels and the masters of wisdom to come together and bring peace and love. So breathe in and meet with the greater beings and all of humanity and all kingdoms and Mother Earth with the greatest blessing, the greatest healing, the greatest soothing. Breathe in this unifying feeling and release. Breathe in the unity, the peace, the love for all of creation, and release. Pause within that feeling for a moment. slowly return back to your community, back to Mother Earth. Feel your feet on the ground. Feel your roots connecting you to the earth. Return to your private space. Feel the place where you're sitting, lying, and take the green and the stillness into your heart center. Place your hands across your heart. And say, I am love. I am peace. I am strength. We are one together. And in your own time, come back to the room, to the stream. So, Garnet, are you back on the planet? I remember I used to fly off, and the healer that I worked with for a long time, Lily, she always would say, Ginger, get back in your body. You're supposed to be here to help the earth, not zoom off all the time. But it's important to know there is that place. So actually, my point of identification is in that place, but my feet are on the ground. Took a while to make that shift. So I'm not actually trying to reach up, but I'm actually coming down and being with you guys. So, who's in the hospital? Ginger and friends. I'm still in the hospital now. Who is that? Julie, it would do that. Are you okay now? It's a very healing color, I have to say. And stillness. Drew, you're in the hospital. Okay. How long are you going to be there for? Do you know? I know Garnet. Astral projection. It can be something that is, for people who know how to do it, can heal. So we used to have absent healings, where you would need to use astral projection to do that. But you do have to be in control. And Drew, I do hope and send you lots of healing. Maybe you should watch this replay again, because green is very healing. Ah, goodness, Garnet. When was that? And I'll be in for another week, and then I'll be inpatient rehab. Well, I will put you on my healing list. And Garnet, when did he pass over? Are you okay? But if it's too personal, send me a message and we can, I'm happy to listen. So, fair, wonderful people, thank you for being here. And just to let you know, Alice, I went and picked up her prescription. Julie, it's something that we need to do, and it's good to know that you can feel that, but send it out. Wow, Garnet says Thursday. Today a neighbor next door was just found. He'd been there for a couple of weeks. My lady friend was Thursday. I would imagine a lot of people are being called to go to the other side to help with the evolution of consciousness. It seems that things like that happen because actually it all is going on up there, from what Lily said, long before it comes down here. So it's really important for us to awaken within ourselves and learn how to hold the stillness. And as I said, Garnet, if you want to talk to me, send me a message. I'm happy to share with you. Good, Julie. I'm glad to hear it. I think today's was pretty strong. I liked it very much. Denise says that she's grateful not to have lost anyone dear to her, but her neighbor ripped down one of her trees, destroyed a beautiful living being. I know, I had that happen a couple times. And what I've learned, and sometimes we need to take down a tree, and I always talk to the fairies and the beings that live within the tree and ask them if it's okay and tell them why it's necessary. Give them time to move out. And if it's already been that someone's created such a shock, then I would just silently put the beings that live there, the elemental beings there, into your meditation and send them lots of love and that you appreciate them and visualize they find another place. Garnet, I'm happy. So let's have a chat. I think right now, with the way the world is, it's really important for us to awaken to that special place that is where the healing lies and the joy lies, and not to lose that as contact. And then bring it down and shine it out, because that's what we're here to do. And we're discovering that mankind is evolving, as I said earlier, to being a being of light, but we're learning how to use it once you know it's there, so that we don't go off the rails and everything. And it's important to know that, because we can absorb a lot of things that might not be a good idea. So, Verbi, I hope you feel well. Have a good week, everybody. Julie and Denise and Donald and Stefan and everybody else that I'm going to go up the messages and see. We've got Kenny and Jenny, and just in case, Drew, if I didn't say you, and Francine. Great. Okay, well, be well. I have you in my thoughts. And until next week, I'm here, a messenger, if you need to message me. We'll talk to you soon. Okay? I love you, and be well. It's